Here with Coach Santa Cruz. Coach, we're heading into senior night for your team against Central Washington. But first, let's talk about the game against the 9th-ranked team in the country, Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah.
Just talk about what you saw from your team.
Colorado Mines is a great football team. What I saw from my team as I'm evaluating it is that collective energy and passion to play the game. You can't win football games without that as a cornerstone. And I told the team, you laid a cornerstone, and that's one of those things we've been working hard all year long. You're ravaged by injuries. It's been quite a while since we've had this. Makes you evaluate a lot. Nonetheless, injuries happen, but excuses aren't to be made. To me, just say, okay, how did we get here? What's going on? And I can't discount just the amount of injuries we've had. So then as those injuries happen from game one, there's a leadership vacuum that we are experiencing through it. And then what ends up happening is the younger guys are being forced into roles, and they're just starting to play that, hey, how do I survive? How do I just do my job? How do I look at myself? And now you saw it start to turn to say, you know what? I'm now having fun playing the game, the energy playing the game. Now I'm not so much thinking about what I got to do, but I'm thinking about, hey, what does the team need me to do, and how do I help people out? And so playing for that brother next to you and not regarding about yourself was the number one thing I saw. And I started with the sideline. I thought they did a tremendous job all the way into infectious of the playing the 4 quarters. Now we didn't win the game, so that's you got to look at the end result. So you look at, okay, now are we getting closer to that? Yes, and then we're every time been doing this long here, the programs go through these evolutions, and you kind of dip and go. This is that part where you're starting to catch the wind under the wings now. You're catching lift. So offensively, love the fact that we were able to continue to get creative in how we're spreading the ball out, how to find the weapons. Defensively, we're running fast. I thought we did a good job with the pass. We unfortunately let a couple box things go, and you catch that youth catches you at the wrong time, but that's okay. Those guys can be just fine. Totally believe in these guys, and fired up to coach them. So as I end the game, like I said in the interview afterward, moral victories, and nobody wants to ever say, oh, I don't believe in moral victories. It's a zero-sum game. Absolutely, I totally believe that. But I have to stand back and say, man, but I got to also evaluate process, what's going on. I know the fans. And everybody else is zero sum. The papers, zero sum. That's great. You can have that, and I'm fine operating in that. But if I get caught up in that too, then what I'll do is I'll undermine and abort the process. And right now, in this process of where this group is growing, that was a big step forward. And knowing what I know behind the scenes, who these guys are, that was a big time step forward for this. I got to celebrate that.
Yeah. And talking a little bit more about the offense, you guys came up with some big plays.
Yep.
But Mines didn't have an unanswered score until the 4th quarter. Just talk about
right.
What you were able to see to the offense, where they continued to move the ball and just kept responding.
Yeah, that was the big challenge and the big wake up call. Coming out of the Simon Fraser game, that was humbling, and it was humbling for the offense. It's humbling for our program to be that anemic on offense, and so. There was a lot of determined, focused work that went in and say, okay, let's put everything on the board. What do we do? Let's always, as coaching staff, find out the best way to get your athletes in space. Let your athletes be in a position to make plays. I thought Coach Carlton and the offensive staff did an outstanding job of saying, you know what, we're not going to be hard-headed. That humility should fuel a hunger, not an embarrassment. True humility means I'm willing to always look myself in the mirror and saying, hey, here's the facts. They can lay it out. How do I get better? I think there's, we go back to the beginning and with Cain and Abel. Here's a moment where Abel's sacrifice, God said, that's a good one. Cain, that's not good. And you're the older son. You should be the guy who knows this stuff. Well, he says, hey, just fix it. Fix it, look at it. Have that humility to say, okay, I get it. I get back on track. Well, he didn't do that. He didn't check himself. Our offensive staff checked themselves, looked at it, wasn't too proud to say, hey, how do we do this? There's a humble moment. If you handle humble moments well, you're going to experience the kind of growth you have as a person, as a program, as an organization, and instead of taking the opposite effect of, hey, how do I blame, complain, and deflect from me, which unfortunately Cain did that, and you see what comes of it, just more dysfunction. And so we're all about growing and getting better, and I thought I'm really proud of what the offensive staff did that. I think where the players doing that, and collectively as the whole staff is, we're at this place of saying, you know, man, we're just looking at keep evaluating who your guys are, keep growing them, keep making them into the men you want them to be, keep being all about each other, and just saying also though, you know, being all willingness to say, hey man, let's look at ourselves. What do we got to do to get better? And that's what's fueling us right now. And you saw this last week, guys got better.
Yeah. Now heading into this next week against Central Washington, you know, you guys have a great history of just battling back and forth. So talk about what you know about Central and what you're looking for from your team in this game.
Well, Central's doing a great job of continuing to get better themselves. You know, they're passing more with Christian Moore there as a quarterback, and they're back to their roots with their roots running and where it's running. I mean, they've always been a good running football team, and that's something they're really showing. You know, so they're playing solid defense. They're flying around, and I thought what they did versus Western Oregon in that game, to come from behind, showed some real gut and grit and some character. And I thought what they did versus Simon Fraser, just saying they're showing that, hey, they believe in the long ball, but they are really to establish that run. So they're a good football program, proud football program. You know, it's been like that for a while, and so you know, I know coming into our house is that they'll be more than ready, and we got to prepare for that.
Well, best of luck in preparation, Coach.
All right, thank you very much.